How's it going guys, Michael here. In this video we'll be recreating some of the synth sounds found in Take My Breath by The Weeknd. None of these sounds are particularly complex, but they're still awesome to know. Let's get into it. For our first sound, let's recreate the arpeggio synth. Start by increasing the unison to 4 and decrease the detune just a bit. This will give a fat wide sound to start with. Next, let's set up the amp envelope. All we need to do is increase the release time to 600 or 700 milliseconds to give each note a nice tail that fades away slowly. Now jump over to the Effects tab and turn on Distortion. Change the distortion type to tape saturation, set the EQ to post, and remove some of the fizzy highs by dialing in the EQ. Now increase the drive knob and ease off on the mix knob. This will help give our sound a little extra body. Next, turn on the flanger and simply bring down the mix knob. This will give our sound some extra movement. Now turn on chorus, decrease the rate slightly, turn down delay 1, and turn up feedback and the high pass filter. Lastly, on the effects tab, turn on the EQ and let's set up a bell-shaped filter and boost the mid slightly to give us a fuller sound. Now decrease the highs slightly with the high shelf to remove a bit of the fizzy sound. As an extra step, let's head into the Matrix tab and under Source choose Chaos 1 and Destination choose Oscillator A followed by A Fine. Now increase the amount knob to taste. What this does is create some random variance in the pitch of the sound in a similar way to how analog equipment moves organically. And we're done creating the art. Next, let's move on to the Brassy synth chord found in the chorus. Once again, just leave the default oscillator as is. Turn up the unison to 4 and bring down the detune. Now turn on the noise oscillator and select analog and J60. Now turn the level down to somewhere around -36 decibels. We don't want to overpower the sound, just add some character. Next, let's set up our envelopes. Start by turning up the release on envelope 1 to around 600 milliseconds. Then turn on the filter and drag envelope 2 onto the cutoff knob so that we can hear the changes as they're being made. Now increase the attack slightly so that the filter quickly opens. Next, turn down the sustain and turn up the decay and release settings so that our filter will slowly close. Now we need to adjust the cutoff settings so that the filter is opening and closing to the right frequencies. Lastly, turn up the resonance just a touch. Now jump over to the Effects tab and turn on the EQ. Create a low cut and the high shelf. Turn down the frequency and Q all the way so that we're cutting out all the bass frequencies. Now use the high shelf to boost the high frequencies. Set the frequency to about 500 and the Q to 0 and increase the gain to around 5 decibels. Now turn on the reverb and place it below the EQ. Turn the mix knob to 100% and let's dial in a nice tone. Starting on the left, turn the size knob down a bit. Do the same with the decay. Increase the low cut to around 50% to get rid of the muddiness. Turn the high cut down. Turn the spin depth down slightly and then dial back the mix knob to where it feels right. Now turn on the chorus and drag it below the reverb and simply dial back the mix knob. And just like that, we're done. As always, you can find a link to the presets in the description below, and if you enjoyed watching, please consider liking and subscribing to show your support to the channel. Thanks again for watching, and I hope to see you again soon. Bye!